Throughout history, some states rise, some conquer, some spread fear. But only a few redefine the order of the world. A power that united vast parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa under a single rule. A power that governed different peoples, languages, and religions within the same system. Before Rome. Before Byzantium. Before the Islamic world. That power was the Persian Empire. But the story of Iran was never only about conquest. It was a story about the art of building a state, about collapse and rebirth, and about centuries of struggle between East and West. In the 6th century BC, one of the Persian tribes changed the course of history. Cyrus. What made him different was not only his military brilliance. He chose to unite rather than destroy. He defeated the Medes, but did not erase their people. He conquered Lydia, but allowed its administration to continue. He entered Babylon, but left its temples untouched. This was something new. Local administrations were preserved. Religions were respected. The tax system was centralized. For the first time, the Persians consciously ruled a multi-ethnic empire. Through a provincial system, they controlled an enormous territory. This became the first true model of a multinational empire in history. Under Darius, the empire stretched from the Balkans to India. Royal roads were built. A common currency was introduced. The central bureaucracy grew stronger. The Persians did not expand only through war. They expanded by building a state. But like every empire, Persia eventually faced a challenge. The Greek city-states, Marathon, Thermopylae, Salamis, Plataea. During the reign of Xerxes, Persian armies marched once more into Greece. At Thermopylae, the Spartans resisted. At Salamis, the Persian fleet was defeated. These wars did not destroy the Persian Empire, but they stopped its expansion toward the west. For the first time, a vast empire had been pushed back by smaller but highly organized city-states. This conflict was not only military. Two different political ideas stood face to face: a centralized empire and independent city democracies. Then came Alexander. He conquered the Persian lands, but he kept the Persian administrative system because it worked. During the Hellenistic period, Greek culture spread across the Iranian world. Yet the region did not lose its political identity. And before long, a new power would emerge. In 224 AD, Artaxerxes overthrew the Parthian Empire and founded the Sassanid dynasty. This was not merely a change of rulers. It was a deliberate reconstruction of Iranian identity. The Sassanids strengthened central authority. Zoroastrianism became the state ideology. The army was reorganized. And most importantly, they entered into centuries of rivalry with Rome and later Byzantium. These wars were not simply border conflicts. They were struggles for the balance of power between East and West. At times, Sassanid armies advanced as far as Jerusalem. They pushed deep into Anatolia. Iran had once again become a superpower. But long wars eventually exhaust every empire. By the 7th century, the Sassanid state was weakened by internal turmoil. And at that moment, a new force was rising: Arab armies. The battles of Qadisiyah and Nahavand shattered the Sassanid military. In 651 AD, the last Sassanid ruler was killed. A new era had begun in Iran. The Persians and the Sassanids had fallen. But Iran's tradition of statecraft, governance, and cultural identity did not disappear. Later Iranian dynasties rose upon the foundations left by these empires. To understand modern Iran, one must first understand these two great imperial traditions. Because Iranian history is the story of a continuous political memory. Rome rose. Byzantium rose. Caliphates rose. Yet for centuries, the balance of power between East and West was shaped on the lands of Iran. The Persians created the empire. The Sassanids rebuilt it. And sometimes the greatest power in history is not the one that conquers the most, but the one that builds the most enduring system. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video as we explore another stop in history.